Before we get started, this is yet again another Talking with James channel video, and because of that, I'm going to be playing random gameplay over my conversation with James. Crazy, isn't it? And make sure to check out the main channel where I make actual effortful content. And with all that being said, please enjoy. Oh, dude. You know what that... Dude... Speaking of itches of games that I wish I could play, I think yours is Titanfall 2. Mine is Battleborn, man. as problematic as that game was, that's my itch. You know, it's just like it never, Titanfall and just in general, I guess, just didn't get a chance. They sandwiched it between bigger games, and they were like, yeah, you know what, it's just like yeah, and we won't do it again.
Alright, well, and I thought it was so stupid because the first Titanfall game came out, and it didn't have a storyline at all. And everyone was pissy and bitchy because, I can't believe they didn't put a story mode in it. And I was like, what? So that it could be another just 2-hour piece of shit that nobody wants like every other fucking COD campaign? No thank you. And then they fucking turned around and did give us a fucking actually good single player game with the good multiplayer, and everyone said it was good, and then still nobody bought it. Like, it was like the one time where, like, word of mouth never fucking made up for anything. It was just cool, it's dead now. It also really sucks because, like, a lot of multiplayer games end up doing that to me. And then I'm like, this is why I don't play this fucking shit anymore. Because, like, the other game that I get the itch for, not only because it's gone forever, but I didn't even get to play it when it was good and actually had any kind of community at all, was Evolve.
Wait, quick question. Who's the team that did Evolve? Did they do Black for Blood or somebody else? Am I getting confused?
No, I think that was them. Because Evolve's big thing was that it was made by the guys that made Left 4 Dead. So, I'm pretty sure it's that same group of people.
Oh, okay, I'm not wrong. Nice.
Yeah, and it blows because that game was so fucking cool.
Dude, I remember watching Destiny players play it for the first time, and it looked sick.
Yeah, I mean, like, the atmosphere of it was awesome. It was really cool to see, like, one, a multiplayer survival horror game, but also a multiplayer science fiction survival horror game about fighting, like, big Godzilla creatures. Like, and it's like Jurassic Park meets fucking Halo. Like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? That sounds amazing. And, like, even with the, like, being the monster and you have to, like, eat all these, like, animals and, like, sneak around and shit, and, like, you're over here playing, like, the long con while these guys are, like, sprinting at you trying to fucking kill you before you get too big for them to deal with. It was so fucking cool. The character classes were actually unique and different, and they had personalities that weren't fucking irritating, and they just killed it. Like, oh cool, fuck you guys. But then the fucking stupid ass Friday the 13th game gets to live. Okay.
California girls were undeniable. That's the only thing that I know about that game.
Yeah. Somehow it's still going. It still has people play it. Like, what the fuck?
It looks like a Minecraft. Looks like a Minecraft. Fucking graphics. That's what it looks like.
Looks like.
Yeah. Not only the Friday the 13th game lived, but what was it called? Is it Dead by Daylight?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that one where it's just like, where now it's just resorted to, here's Pyramid Head. Laugh, you sheep. You know?
Don't you love it?
Like, fuck, the best multiplayer that Ubisoft has ever made was the multiplayer in Assassin's Creed 3. I fucking detest Assassin's Creed 3. Everything about it, except for that multiplayer mode. Not only that, but like the early version of that multiplayer mode, because that was fucking legit. It was a, basically like a free-for-all deathmatch mode, but took place in like a district of town. Like it would pick a random place on the open world map, and it would section it off, and it would dress everyone as an NPC. And there was like, and it would be spotting which NPC was moving too much like a player, and then hunting them down or trying to lose them and avoid them. And
Oh yeah, it's the same thing as the Watch Dogs multiplayer too.
yeah, that shit was fucking awesome. And like, what the fuck? You know, they just cut it out entirely and then made it fucking shitty Dark Souls.
Well now, but the thing is, speaking of Ubisoft centric multiplayers, the one that I remember that was also like that had a brief lifespan was the Splinter Cell Blacklist multiplayer stuff. That was pretty sick. Like it like combined like elements of like the spy versus mercs. You know, the mercs were playing the first person shooter that was like super aggressive, you know, in your face, versus the spies had to like crawl around and sneak up behind certain people and like take them out carefully. So it was like when you were playing either spies or mercs, it felt like you were playing like two completely different games, you know.
Right. Well, yeah, it's like that shit was super. Like that shit sounded fun. Like I even liked the stupid. What the fuck name did it have? It was the one that like. It honestly to me felt like a Max Payne game, mixed with like a Batman Arkham Asylum Predator stealth. Just was like a dude in a t-shirt. But like even that game was good.
I think I know what you're talking. No, I don't know. But that sounds cool. Oh, dude, another game that got abandoned that was actually really fun. Well, I remember it's either between Battleborn or this game, which is Batman Arkham Origins Multiplayer. Man, that game, that was sick. Because your multiplayer was like made by a completely different studio that made Origins, and they just went ham. They decided to like have each option or weapon that you could play as with the Joker character or the Bane character. You got like different equipment. You could like use the Chattering Teeth, and then on top of that, you got to play as Batman and Robin during this. So like you were playing like the stealthy kind of taking everybody down one by one, and then at the near end of the actual playtime of each session or each game, you got to play as the villains, right? So you would have to go over to their spawn doors, and if you get there quick enough, you could either play as Bane or the Joker. And it was sick, man.
That does sound cool. That's interesting.
And the thing is that it was also on... Here, let me see if I can find those videos. But, like, when it was at its prime and people were making videos about it, it was peak, man. Because when people figured out how to play the game, they realized, oh, wow, there's actually more to it than just, like... It's kind of like the mix between Evolve and just normal shooting. And, of course, the mix of the Arkham stuff. So let me see if I can send you a few videos, because those multiplayer matches were pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, it's like they always, like games like that always had really fun, like interesting shit happen during them, and just for some reason nothing ever. Like I don't know, man. Everyone bitches about like nobody makes original shit anymore, and then original shit comes out that's cool, and then it's like, well, where the fuck were you then, huh? Like, fuck. Sunset Overdrive, goddammit. That, like, Chaos Squad co-op mode was awesome. That's mainly because I was consistently at the top of the leaderboard on all of the co-op missions whenever I played it. So, or like, Uncharted 2's multiplayer, Uncharted 4's multiplayer, fuck. I didn't get to play it, but Last of Us 1's multiplayer was really good. So many games where it just feels like nobody gives a fuck because it's not the same like two games.
And that was kind of my same issue, the same thing that happened with Battleborn. Battleborn was super interesting as well, you know, in terms of like it being a mix between a MOBA and a first-person shooter that made it pretty special and unique. But the reason why it never got the time in the sun was because it was competing with Overwatch. So it's that Titanfall 2 situation where they decide to they even tried to pit it against Overwatch, and they were like, "Ah, yeah, our game will surely top Overwatch." You're telling me Blizzard, back in its prime, hasn't released a new IP in years, like maybe even a decade at that point, right? In terms of like, people, they were at their prime in terms of everybody loved them, and you want to go up against that? I'm sorry, there's no way. I remember when I was 16, I got into an argument, 16, 15, maybe even younger than that. I got into an argument of which one was better, and I thought Battleborn was better because there was so much more to do. There was far more like modes to do. There was far more. There was an actual campaign. You got to level up your character and get all this new lore stuff when you upgrade your character. Got skins and stuff that you can earn through the game. All the unique characters and classes. It was sick, but whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The thing that sucked was I played it a little bit. I had to play it with bots when I did, and I respected it and was immediately put off by it because it was kind of dumb how Overwatch, all of the buzz around it when it came out was, it's like a MOBA and a first-person shooter at the same time, and it really was just Team Fortress 2 again. Okay, but then this one was actually a MOBA mixed with a first-person shooter, and I respected that because I was like, oh, okay, no, so you weren't just bullshitting me. But I was also like, but man, I actually really don't fucking like MOBAs. So.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's the thing is Battleborn could okay. So in defense of Battleborn, the reason why I liked it so much was because even if you didn't really like the MOBA aspect, you could still play the campaign. I kid you not. One of the developers, I remember watching this when the game before it just came out, and I remember if you wanted to play the single player campaigns again, they knew that the jokes would get repetitive, so they wrote 10 to 15 different scenes and different jokes for each level, so every time you wouldn't be hearing the same joke over and over again. That's sick.
Fucking cool. That's an interesting idea. I never thought about doing that.
Yep. I know Battleborn really grows on you the more you play the game, and that's why I'm so upset that it completely got canned. You can't even play a single player, man.
That's what sucks is just so many of those games were released in that time period of everything has to be online. So then fucking all of them just don't work now, and it's cool, it's why I can't even play with bots anymore. Thanks. It's just retarded. Don't get it. But it's because those games take time to grow on you, because those games are way more complex. Holy fuck, was there a lot of shit that was kind of overwhelming to learn with Evolve. Holy shit, is there a lot that's overwhelming to learn with Battleborn. I also feel because Battleborn bombed, that they made Borderlands 3 shitty out of spite.
I think so too. I think there was a personal vengeance there.
Yeah, where it's oh, you want Borderlands, huh? Which, to be fair, I was one of those people when Battleborn came out when I was I just looked at it and then looked at them and then looked at it and then looked at them and I'm like, look. You can put out a shitty Aliens game, okay? I won't get that much offended by it. You can put out a shitty Duke Nukem game. I can get over that. But and now you're gonna fucking cash in on Overwatch instead of giving me the only game that I fucking want you to make. You know? It was kind of a two-way hatred, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. That's just how it is out of spite, and then we never get to see these. Man. But the thing is that even though that now it seems they're not making games for us, in the future they will do it eventually. I know at some point they're going to make a Battleborn 2. It's just, it's just not gonna be.
Right.
It's gonna be a long while, but we'll still have to wait for these games to come out.
All right. Well, and that's the thing for me is like, especially with like what you were talking about with all the Call of Duty devs leaving and going to Ubisoft and shit. Like, it isn't literally called Battleborn 2. There will eventually be somebody that makes a game that might as well just be called Battleborn 2. I feel it's just inevitable.
Yep, I believe so too. That's one of the reasons I was kind of bummed that that Arkham Origins Multiplayer wasn't in Arkham Knight, when I feel like that game perfectly could have the system for it, especially since there was a variety of enemy assaults. That's one of the reasons why I'm so itchy to play Minecraft Legends, is because I know it's going to be the only action game mixed with an RTS that we're probably going to get, at least in a long while. Especially one that's coming to consoles, because not a lot of RTSs do that.
All right, because here's the thing, there are good real-time strategy games on consoles. Like, we have already proved that you can do it. It's not impossible. But the thing is that nobody ever wants to play the ones that are good. So then it's just like, okay, cool, so then why even bother? Yeah,
it's the same thing with Bleeding Edge, I think. People were like, "Oh, damn, I want." Yeah, remember Bleeding Edge? I feel bad for Ninja Theory, man. I've looked in that server and it is dead, man. My server has far more activity than that official server.
It's so sad. Because I played the beta of it. I literally own that game. I had to play it like a couple of times before it just died immediately, because then I lost my ability to play with Xbox Live. My subscription expired.
Well, I played a little bit of it and I was not impressed. That's probably the only Ninja Theory game that I couldn't get behind, which is funny enough.
I think it was still rough. I think it would have had to have been almost like a No Man's Sky thing, where it'd be like, no, we're sticking with this, it will be good, or something, which I could see them not doing that and just cutting their losses, because they're like, well, we already are making Hellblade 2, so, we don't really need this to stay afloat.
Well, I think one of the reasons why they made it was surely because they wanted, it was a passion project, Ninja, it wasn't by Tamino, it was by Ronnie and Matt. Ronnie and Matt were like, damn, we wanted to make this character action multiplayer game for a long time, and, they eventually made it, but the thing is that, it just can't survive in this landscape. Here's the thing, character action multiplayer games, they can't just live on their own. It's impossible to. But if there was if today, right, if Capcom said there's going to be a DMC5 multiplayer mode, right, or 1v1, or they did it with Bayonetta, or literally any other character action game, right, that is already pre-established, like Metal Gear Rising or whatever, people would throw so much money at the screen to play it. But if you do it with characters that not many people know, or not many people are attached to, and then say, oh, look, you'll like this, and it just doesn't happen,
I think that the main issue with it was, because I did play the beta, and I played the beta for, I want to say, a couple weeks max, and I got to play with a good majority of the characters, and really the main issue is that it was just clunky as fuck. It was clunky as fuck, and everything was just cooldown moves. This was not fucking DMC multiplayer, it was clunky, wonky third-person Overwatch.
Yeah, that's also my issue. I think with first person shooters and many other games in general, I feel like you can get away with having each individual character having a limited moveset, but adding multiple characters. Versus in a character action game, you want to have as much possible in one character, right? You need a lot and just to make each character work. So I feel like adding subclasses would probably better suit than having characters that have everything on a cooldown and only have a limited moveset and stuff like that.
Well, okay. Riddle me this then, Batman.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to point to you a little game called Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge that had I'm pretty sure you can't even play it locally or with bots or anything, so it's just dead. But there was a multiplayer mode attached to Ninja Gaiden 3, and this was like this wasn't the like fucking awful shitty Ninja Gaiden 3. They like made it better. They like actually added the shit that was supposed to be in it, and then they added a multiplayer mode where you could pick between you and then like 3 dead or alive girls, and then a custom character that you could make that you could literally customize the entire move setup. And it was literally like 1v1s and 2v2s and like maybe a couple of little rinky-dink objective modes. And everyone had access to all the cool moves and shit, and then like, nothing happened. I think part of it is that character action game people are just inherently antisocial, anti-multiplayer.
I feel like that's because that's the environment that we've kind of grown up in, which is that, the only time there's really been good multiplayer in DMC, the character action game franchises, being able to get another controller for the duplicate, or watching the other person on the other side do it, and that's kind of as far as the multiplayer goes. But
accurately, seeing the notification that someone is also playing in the same room as you, and then never really seeing much of anything other than kind of a silhouette flailing in the background while you're playing your video game. Really great stuff, guys.
Yeah.
And then right out of fucking nowhere, the last 2 levels, you get to team up with other players the whole fucking game.
Nope, just 1 level. I can hear your frustration through the microphone.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. Do you know how hard my fucking brain exploded when I saw that fucking launch trailer and I saw that there were 3 different fucking player characters on the screen at the same time doing shit?
I know, it was so manipulative. They even did the thing where they had Nero catch one of the lizards, throw him across the screen, and then Dante did a real impact and launched him into the air.
Right, exactly. And I was like, oh my god, that actually would be dope as shit. Because then what I thought that they were going to do, which would have been so much fucking cooler, was that I thought it was going to be basically like Dark Souls multiplayer, where the game would have other players being Dante and V and stuff in your game with you. Like, fighting enemies at the same time. Like, there would be just points where they would meet up. But no, it was just 1 level. Fuck you.
No, you don't get that, James. See, I think this is why, one of the reasons why Bleeding Edge and other, character action game, multiplayer games just can't work, Well, they can work, technically, but it's just that the communities don't understand, that you can add a whole dimension to this game, but whatever. But yeah, I mean...
how sick would that have been to have, shit, dude. What if they designed it so that every level was Nero and Dante and V and all of these characters all at the same time doing crazy Devil May Cry shit? Or if it was some weird drop-in, drop-out stuff where it'd be okay, cool, this character, this person was playing Trish at this point in the level, and now they're gone, and then like some Last of Us shit happens, and then oh cool, now we're with V, and that's being played by so and so right now.
No, James. No, James. DMC is back. It's not the reboot, so therefore it's a good game.
Right.
You're just mad.
He has white hair.
Yeah, he's got white hair now, so it's all good.
It's all good. You're just mad that your shitty reboot lost.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's not that they literally like had all the ingredients for like the coolest game in the entire world and then just completely fumbled it.
Dude, that's the funniest part, is that right after DMC Devil May Cry, well, not right after, but after DMC Devil May Cry, they went to make a character action multiplayer game. So if people demanded for it in DMC Devil May Cry, then they probably would have got it.